He spent 25 years in prison before finally being released and is now in the process of full exoneration. He's here today to tell us about his story and share with us how he's been able to turn these tragedies into triumphs. Please welcome Mr. Eric Brown.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Wow, Eric. I try to bait him into stuff sometimes, and he just won't bite. You know, he will not take a victim stance. He will not talk down about the system. He won't do it. And I'm just amazed and honored to have you here, man. Thank you for coming. And I'm gonna let you take it wherever you need it to go.
Well, first, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for having me on the show and allowing me to tell my story, because I'm not the only one. It's thousands and thousands of people right now that's incarcerated for things that they didn't do. And the sad part is, when you first say, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, that's the first thing people say. Oh, that's what everybody say. And if you Google my case, you will see that, okay, well, look, they say, all right, he did this, that. But when you look at what it doesn't say, when you look at it deeper and you say, well, what does it doesn't say? What is not saying? There was no murder weapon. There was no eyewitnesses. There was no DNA, no fingerprints, no physical evidence whatsoever. Detectives laid, at 16 years old, detectives laid 6 photographs before me of young black males, and he said, just pick any one of them and I'll let you go. My integrity, even at 16 years old, just wouldn't allow me to do that.
Why was that? Was it a street code, or why not? Because the average person would point it to anybody and say, just let me out. So what made your situation different?
Fast forwarding briefly, when I got to Angola and started working in the law library, I've met many, many people who've been incarcerated for 20, 30, and 40 years because somebody chose to do that to them, to lie on them. We call that lie ratting, to save their own self. Because I had a mother and a father that raised me, you know, with principles and morals and values, I just couldn't wrap my mind around doing that to somebody, even at 16 years old.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
So not to get too deep in the woods, because I said we weren't going to do that, the pictures that they laid before you, were any of them a picture of the culprit who actually did commit this?
Well, at the time, I didn't know.
Okay.
I was oblivious to who actually committed this. Doing my research years later, I mean, you discover things and hear things, and you put two and two together.
So is it fair to say at that moment you were there were pictures laid in front of you of men, and you didn't know anything about what they did?
Correct.
Okay.
But it was mostly of young African Americans, males, who the police didn't like.